So this is gonna be another video, another vlog, sit and chat with me. It will be, I think this series will be like mental health based mostly, and also talking about my art as well, because my art has to do with mental health mostly. So, and just basically my journey with my own mental health, because it has been a rocky one. So I read the comments in the last video, and to be honest, I thought it will have 0 views, to be quite honest, because I don't really do these kind of videos on this channel. So yeah, like without a reaction, etc. So it's just something different, a little bit out of my comfort zone, well, very much out of my comfort zone. But yeah, so I read the comments, and thank you so much for the support, guys. Thank you for appreciating that I'm putting this video out and doing this series and willing to join me in this journey. And yeah, thank you. I appreciate it a lot. As I'm doing this vlog, this part, I have this little fidget spinner. I don't know if you guys remember these, where it's literally like different sections where you can just do like that, you can spin, etc. I don't remember what year that was. Maybe it was like focus, it was like maybe college time, I think. But yeah, I'm doing I'm going to basically, I'm trying to figure out ideas and like topics that I can talk about on this vlog, or else it will just be like random topics that I can think of to do with mental health, etc. Till I'm like more comfortable to share, because obviously I'm still not that comfortable to share. But yeah, it will take time because of course this is a video going out to the world, really, online. So basically I don't remember when I actually started. I think I started doing mental health as my main topic for my art was like university. I was doing my BA in fine art, and there's like a turning point that I decided to just do that instead, because I think I realized that most art stuff that I created in my spare time at home, other than uni work, was mostly, oh, literally as I'm talking, it's now raining outside. What a great timing for this topic. But yes, so I was doing a lot of mental health art based topics in my spare time outside of uni. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to just continue with it as my topic, because we had to create our own brief, I think, our own little assignment, I guess, like what subject we want to focus on in that kind of year. So I chose that instead, because I realized I was doing a lot of it at home outside of uni. So yeah, I was doing a lot of like, it was kind of bizarre because I was doing like quotes. I wrote some of my own quotes that I've been told myself. Like for example, like a very hard one is like, crying makes you weak. I mean, I think everyone has heard of that before. But yeah, so I've been told that. So I wrote quotes that I can remember I've been told to do with like emotions, etc., and like suppressing your emotions. Like people say it because people say it, but they don't realize that it will actually hurt the other person. So yeah. I did that. I did quotes, and then I just like, I wrote like long big quotes on my sketchbook, each page. Then I would just splatter it with paint and ink, and then I think I decided to do a little project where I use one of my studio walls as my kind of like collage, made it into a collage of all the papers. Like I decided to do it bigger, do like separate papers, individual papers, and just collage them with all the quotes that I've been writing. I also found quotes online from other people that have written, and all to do with emotions, etc., and how they feel down. And sometimes all these quotes can be a bit too dark and be a bit too personal. Like I said in the first video, people don't want to say these out loud. They just want to keep it to themselves, because they might feel a bit shy or embarrassed. But yeah, so I did a whole collage of it. I don't even know if I have a picture of it in file. I did a whole collage of it on my wall, and literally people were like, I think our friends or students from the other rooms, they went to visit our studios. They want to just check how we're doing, and they want to see, they're just curious what we're doing, etc. And yeah, they saw my wall, and then everyone is just standing there and reading them. I remember that moment. One of the students was like, they find it inspiring and brave that I put this out. They said like, is it your quotes? Is it your own? Is it everyone else's? Or is it a mix? And I said it's a mix. But they said like, half of it is yours though? I said yeah, half of it is mine. But yeah, they found it brave, and in that moment I was like,
brave would be the last word in my mind to describe that kind of art.
I don't know, I didn't think of like creating those things and putting it out there in my studio where everyone can see. I wasn't thinking of like how the response will be. Like I didn't even think about it. It's not like I didn't care about it. I just cared that I put it out, if that makes sense. But yeah, I just put it out there just because I wanted to, and the fact that people were literally saying that it's brave of me to do that, I was confused. Like, to be honest, just like explaining it now, I never actually reflected on that moment properly. So I guess I'm just trying to explain my journey through mental health art and how it became, you know, a thing for me, and how it became a very important topic for me, especially now doing this series. Yeah, I just never thought, it never occurred in my mind of what people's reactions will be, you know, what the response will be for other people viewing my art as it is. I never thought about it. Then I just started doing like drawings, kind of like portrait drawings, kind of like surrealism, and I think most of my art is mostly surrealism, like not really realistic, but it really just kind of, it still kind of grabs you. I mean, any kind of art can grab you, depending on how important the subject is for you, and how much you really like the way it's displayed, how it's viewed, etc. So, but yeah, my art is mostly surrealism, I think. But yeah, I mean, I just carried on with that. Then it came to a time where my art got a bit deeper, like much deeper, in when I did my master's in illustration in Falmouth Uni, Cornwall. Yeah, which I did that course in lockdown. That was an interesting time. But yeah, so my art just got deeper, and then I didn't realize like a lot of the students in my class were literally doing about mental health as well. They were doing about anxiety, they were doing about insecurities. Like a lot of people will choose the topic of mental health, because like I said, I mean, art can be an outlet, can play as an outlet for most people. I mean, most creatives are like I wouldn't say the word messed up, but kinda. We're just all going through something that we just can't express, so we express it through what we create. I guess it's just easier for that. Or like they say, let the art speak for itself. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, like, the art in illustration course that I did, I managed to, my final outcome, I made my own book, kind of like a comic novel, which I'll show in another vlog. But yeah, it was a comic novel of like, because I got into graphic novels in like, I don't know what year that was, probably 2019, I think. I don't quite remember. But yeah, a friend got me into graphic novels. I was never interested before, but when I saw one, I got interested with the way the story is portrayed and displayed on in the book, and how it's so cool to look at. And yeah, I don't know. Like, most people think graphic novels are like childish just because it's like cartoony, etc. But my gosh, if you guys just read the stories, you can find a graphic novel that will really relate with you personally. Because obviously, when you're doing a project for yourself in an art course, you have to do a lot of research and get a lot of references. So a lot of my visits, since my aim was to make a graphic novel, or attempt to make one, was to research, go to a lot of bookstores. So I visited a lot of, like, we have this store, I don't know if they have it in US, because due to my analytics here, my audience is mostly from the US, but I don't know if they have this store. It's called Waterstones. It's kind of like a bookstore with stationery, etc. So I don't know the equivalent store in the US, but yeah, it's Waterstones. I always visit it. Everywhere I go, I always visit it, because obviously you can find something from there. Or I did a lot of like Amazon Amazon store buys. So my book collection has grown. Like, I'm looking this way because most of them are there on a shelf. But yeah, it's mad. I mean, I found graphic novels and books that are related with mental health, which is crazy. But I don't know. Like, for example, this book that I had no idea about the story. I had no idea that it was a true story, but I just found the book very cool to look at, and the cover was very, very good and very eye-catching. It was what is it called? I don't exactly remember wait. My Friend Dahmer. So obviously the name will sound familiar now to everyone because of the series Monster on Netflix. Jeffrey Dahmer. The comic book was based on Jeffrey Dahmer, and I had no idea before buying it. I had no idea that about the story. I had no idea that he existed. I had no idea that it was a true story, first of all. I had no idea whatsoever. And coming from someone who literally, I watch a lot of, like, kind of rambling now, but I watch a lot of like crime documentaries and true crime documentaries, like serial killers, stuff like that, murder mysteries, etc. I love those. I don't know why. But yeah, My Friend Dahmer, I had no idea what it was about, and then when I read it, I was like, he's kind of autistic. He kind of has autistic kind of how do you call it, mannerisms. but he's just quiet, etc. And then yeah, it just kind of like went another way. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of novels and graphic novels that got to do with mental health and stuff that you can relate with, etc. If you guys are like a book fan and like a bookworm, if you want to know any, then I'm glad to recommend any. Because I never used to be a bookworm. I never used to own so many books, like reading books. I never used to be like this. Only when I was like 21, I think. Yeah, that's when I came late to the show. Like, obviously I was a fan of Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. I'm a bigger fan of Lord of the Rings than Harry Potter. Don't hate me, but I just love Lord of the Rings more. But yeah, so I used to read those books before. Obviously I own a few, but it was not like this crazy where it would be like growing piles of books. So yeah, I mean, mental health is like, can be portrayed across graphic novels and etc., art outlets. Sometimes when I'm really sad or upset, I literally just, if I do have enough energy, I would draw whatever comes to mind, or I just start doodling. Like, literally just follow my instinct and just do one, and then let's see how the how the final outcome will be in the end, because sometimes it doesn't really end well sometimes. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know, it's just creating that book and finally actually in the process of creating the book. Obviously it was a long process. You have to think of like different ideas, different backup ideas of that backup idea, just in case the other idea doesn't work out as you hope, as you would have hoped. And yeah, it was a long process, but also the process was difficult. It was so difficult because I was trying to do the book as a true story, as my own true story. The only problem is the final outcome is not as good as I hoped. But overall I'm just grateful that it's actually here, that it's actually an actual book form, kind of a graphic novel form. But yeah, I mean, I'll explain more about it in another video, but yeah, I mean, the process was so hard to get through, because obviously you have to, if you want to do a true story about yourself, then you have to really go through those details again. And for other people it can be a bit cathartic or therapeutic, because you're literally revisiting those moments that you didn't think you would be talking about again, but you did know you will be, because you chose this topic in the first place. It's my fault. But yeah, I mean, the process was so hard. It was so hard to get through. Like, I literally wrote notes and a list of what I wanted to be included in the book, and then how the illustrations would look like, because I did all it myself. I did the quotes, I did the writing, I did the illustrations, you know, the design of the layout and stuff. I did it all myself. But it's just like, I don't know, it was not even about pressure from uni. It was just about myself, asking myself, oh my gosh, Chris, you're the one who wanted to do this in the first place. It was your idea to do the book. It was your idea to do a true story. So now you just gotta get through it. I guess that's just how life is. Lol. But yeah, I mean, It's hard. It's so hard. People always say people who don't do art are not as creative as other people. They would literally always be complimenting you and be in awe of your work and be in awe of all creatives because they know you, etc. Like they will always say, like people say like, oh my god, you're so good at drawing, oh wow, your drawings are always so good, like how do you do it, how is it so easy for you? It's not easy. It's not easy at all, because there will be points where I don't know if you guys have seen like reels on Instagram, depending on what you guys follow on Instagram and social media, but there will be things like I said about the process of the book took so long, and you have to figure out ideas and concepts in case it doesn't work, and you have no idea how the final outcome will look like until you've done it, until you've finished it. But sometimes if you use art as an outlet for your emotions, etc., to get through your emotions or get through the day or get through the evening or get through the week even, it becomes more difficult to create that concept in your mind that you want to make. Like we always have an idea in our head that we want it to look, that it looks so good in our heads, but when we put it on paper and finish it and you're like, that is not what I was thinking, that's far away from what I'm thinking, why is it not appearing as it should appear in my head mentally, but it doesn't. And then you get stressed and you kind of procrastinate, and you get a little bit emotional, but you don't want to get too emotional, because if you get too emotional then you won't be able to finish the piece, or you'll just give up. And I have a lot of days like that where I literally just get so stressed, and I don't know, I get so stressed about a specific situation, or I get stressed because of reminiscing something that I don't want to reminisce, yet I want to draw something, yet I want to get through the day, but then I can't, because it's getting too heavy for me, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm rambling, but I think I am. But yes, so it gets really, really difficult. That's why I think I've seen so many quotes about creatives and artists. For example, Van Gogh is a big one. Frida Kahlo. There are a lot of artists, famous artists, that have gone off the rails because they let their emotions get to them, if that makes sense. Even talking about that is quite difficult to speak about, because I can relate with that a lot, because you have, as a creative, you have so many things in your mind, or maybe just as you don't even have to be creative to be able to get to your emotions, but maybe it depends on your upbringing, etc., and then it's quite hard for you to, you know, let out those emotions, let out those true emotions, let out what you really want to say, but you don't, because from what you've learned from day one, you can't say so many things, you might hurt someone, etc. Not that you want to hurt someone, but it's just, I don't know if I'm explaining it properly. But yeah, I don't know, it's so difficult. From reading all these books and graphic novels, etc., that got to do with mental health and emotions in general, it's like I'm trying to figure out answers for myself, like figure out, okay, they're going through this, so what can I do then that I can relate with? Or they're going through this, so I can relate with them, but so then what happens next? Like after this, what happens next? Will we be able to survive, or will we not, or will we ever get over this, or no? But there's never a definite answer for that. And that's the hardest thing, I think. I've created so many art pieces that's got to do with my emotions and how I really feel about myself, like from insecurities to a ton of insecurities, anxiety, just a lot, like a lot of things, like branching out from the other, one topic to another. So, but they're all literally about emotions, about my emotions, how I feel personally, and what I go through or what I'm going through, etc. I've created so many pieces to do with that, and I think the reason why I'm still doing that is because, and especially me doing this vlog series, which is difficult, is like I just wanna, even though times have changed, a lot of people still think mentality or mental health, illness or mental illness is just a phase, you know? And I hate that. I really hate that. Because they think like, oh, okay, so you're not feeling okay. Don't worry, you'll be fine in like 2 weeks. And you're like thinking, no, I won't be fine in 2 weeks. It's impossible. It's just impossible. For most people, it's impossible. For other people, maybe it's fine. Maybe they can just snap out of it. But other people, no. Like I can't get over it in 2 weeks. No, that's impossible for me. This might be a controversial topic, maybe. Well, technically this whole topic is controversial. But I am a Catholic. I am proud to call myself a Catholic. I'm a believer. But the only thing is, I don't go to church as often as before, as I used to. I don't even remember the last time I went to church. I think it was like last Christmas? I think it was last Christmas. But I didn't go. I went there for the Christmas Mass with my family. But I do have my reasons on why I don't go anymore. I don't know if I'm going to talk about that in this channel. Maybe one day when we get there. We'll see. But yeah, so it kinda, that situation kinda, I guess you can call it like a trauma experience. It it was years ago, so many years ago. I think I was 13 years old, yeah. And I'm 31 now, so it's very long time. But yeah, those things just don't really go away completely. But overall, I'm still a believer. I'm still like, people always like judge on religion, on how like how can you believe in God or something like that, and I get that. I'm a very open-minded person. I literally don't care about genre of music, like I've said before. I listen to whatever because my childhood has been a mix of music anyway. My dad is into like a mix of rock, pop rock, ballads, disco, so many. And then my mom is into like ABBA and stuff like that. It's just like a whole mix of songs and genre and tastes, and obviously generations as well, so it's been mixed, etc. So yeah, I mean, I completely get it. I do have friends who are atheists, I do have friends who are agnostics, I do have friends who are believers or true believers or not really, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with them being my friends as long as you respect me as much as I respect you. Like, don't force me to not believe in it, and I'm not gonna force you to believe in it, if that makes sense. So we're fair. But yeah, I mean, I'm still a believer. My prayer time is kind of like, I don't follow the typical prayer where it's like Our Father, Hail Mary, and Glory be. I don't follow that as much. I just, what is it? I do my prayer like I'm talking to a friend, for example. The only thing is they're not responding in person, you know. But overall, it just helps me talk to someone that I know will understand me, that I know will just not judge me. And I have friends who don't judge me at all, and I love them for it. It's just sometimes prayer time can be so much more personal and so much more deeper, and it's just something that I still can't explain my belief in that way, but it's hard. Yeah, so I just open up sometimes with that, or like I said in the other video, I am going through therapy at the moment, and that's been going alright. It's still a bit hard. Like I mentioned, I did therapy, phone call therapy for like 2 years, and then literally switched to face-to-face a little bit after that. So face-to-face is quite difficult and awkward and uncomfortable, because I fidget a lot. Like, for example, using this helps a ton while doing this video, because this topic is very, I'm going more in depth than the first video, of course. But yeah, it's so, oh my gosh, like, even if I already have a script prepared for this video, I am gonna stutter, or I'm gonna go blank, because I'm just like, is it okay to say this? Is it okay to say that? Like, I care too much what people think of me, or I care too much of what people think of my opinions, even though my opinions are not gonna insult them. I know they're not gonna insult them. I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm trying to be fair, but it's so hard to, you know, I always have like thoughts and overthinking and stuff. My overthinking is a crazy habit of mine, super crazy, and I can never stop it from thinking, you know, from thinking over the top, to the point where it's just overtaking my head, and like I don't say anything anymore because I stop talking, because I'm just overthinking too much, that I'm like anxious, like, oh gosh, maybe I should just stop talking. I do this a lot with my friends. Sometimes I tell them, like, they ask me about how I'm feeling, so I talk about it, but then literally you can tell they're listening, but at the same time you're like thinking in your head again while you're talking. You're thinking in your head, okay, you know what, I think they're getting bored. I think I'm boring them. I think they're gonna get fed up because I'm still talking, and I'm talking non-stop, and I'm not stopping. So I overthink like that, and I just tell them, like, okay, you know what, enough about me. I always say this. I say, enough about me, how was your day? And they already explained their day. It's already my turn, yet I just want to shut up. But it's so hard. I don't even know how long this video is now. I've been splitting it into parts, but I don't know. For example, music. Like I've been reacting to a lot of music on this channel, K-pop mostly, BTS and then Stray Kids, and back and forth, and most of their songs together are with mental health topic, and most of their audiences are quite young and like my age, maybe going to my age, etc., or even older. And like just listening to their songs, as you saw from my reactions that I've uploaded here, is like I can relate with so many of them. And like it's like I've been doing art for so long and I've been doing all these topics for so long, yet why do these lyrics still affect me? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think we'll ever know the answer for that, for any of us. But yeah, I don't know. I need water. I don't know how to end this video, but if you want to hear about any specific topics for the next video, let me know. If not, I'm gonna come up with something. And I was thinking of an idea of not exactly recording my dad here, because my dad is like, I guess, the most open-minded in topics like this. So yeah, my dad, I'm not thinking of exactly recording him yet. Maybe I'm gonna research some questions about mental health and then just let him answer it, and then I'll tell you his answers in the next video, maybe, or the next few videos. But yeah, it's just some ideas I'm trying to come up with. And then the other videos, we'll see what I talk about in this topic. This series is mostly going to be about mental health and how I'm getting through it and how I'm still getting through it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for the support on this series. I really appreciate it. It's a big step for me to do, despite already seeking help, professional help, but it's still a process. It's still a learning process. And yeah, mind the stuttering, mind the blank spaces. My bad, I might edit them so they won't seem too awkward. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, have a good day ahead, and see you in the next maybe reaction video and blog video. Bye.